Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday, the 13th of May. That's hopefully this is what you've got sound this time. So apologies if you're been sitting there and I can't see whether you got sound. So unless someone lets me know really quickly, I just carry on. Hopefully the sound is okay. I just do a quick check. I can see someone say if you could just type yes in the box there, that would be great. And then I can carry on. My computer's had a bit of a crash overnight and obviously not reset itself to normal settings. So if you can hear me, please let me know. Okay, not going to answer. I'll just press on and hopefully this will work. This time it looks like on my other system. I just checked that the sound looks like it's playing, so I can only assume that you can hear me. There's nothing here to tell me if everything is all okay. It's all stream settings. It's stream settings. Do apologise if you're listening, but I can't get anyone to tell me whether they can hear me or not. If you can hear me, just well, anyway, I'm going to fire away and start from the scratch again. Start from the beginning. Okay. In fact, here we go. Sorry. Right. So I'll cut this off in a moment. Welcome to this morning's Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 13th of May. So looking at the euro dollar and what we've got going here. Actually before I look at that, news today, we've got little news coming out today. We've got most of Europe, I say most of Europe, we've got Switzerland, France, Germany all taking bank holidays today. Ascension Day, I believe it is today, so that's a thinner market potentially at least. We do have news at 1:30 US news, unemployment claims. We saw yesterday the inflation inflation gaining more than expected. It's at this stage, I'm just looking here. Sorry, at this stage, those inflation gains shocked the market quite some way, well more than expected. Anyway, looking at the market today, as I say, 1:30 unemployment claims. That could be it. Apologies, a bit mixed up this morning. It's just the sound didn't work the first time, and I'm trying to get hopefully getting the sound working this time. But no one is letting me know whether the sound's working, so I'm going a little bit blind here at the moment. If someone could pop in there, yes, I can hear you on the chat session on YouTube, that would be much appreciated. Because I get a feeling I might be still talking to myself. Okay, so looking then at the euro dollar technically. Trouble when your computers crash. Technically, the euro dollar it put a lower high in. It confirmed yesterday. That news didn't help it at all. I'm looking across the markets and I'm seeing that the bond markets, the treasury markets, the yields are up really high. They're sitting at 168 this morning. Now, when we see 168, 170 hitting the radar here lately, that means that the US bonds are being sold. When that happens, we generally see the money run to the dollar and strengthening of the move. So I'm wary of this action this morning on the euro. It seems to be the only one that's really doing it, but we're saying the yen's picking up a bit as well. So maybe we will see more of a bounce. A break of this area to the low side. If we see a break to the low side here, oh, thanks very much for someone eventually answering me. Good. A break to the low side, a break of this level here, to me, it puts the euro back into sort of a sell mode. At the moment, it's not clear to me. Even yesterday, at one stage, I got a bit sort of. I'd gone long in an early morning sort of trade. It sort of fired off, looked quite nice, and got onto the long side. Was looking to play back partially to the highs here, but the news took me out later on. It just sort of whipped me out. It was already, to be fair, rolling anyway, but we're seeing each of these last few days this sort of consolidation and a move towards the later day, sort of quite late on Tuesday there. Yesterday obviously the news drove it, but either way we're seeing these sort of moves coming in a bit later. If it's not pushed up in the European session, it's being sold in the sort of later part of the US session. Yesterday, well, it did fire back up. I was still considering, well, perhaps my long move back into these prior highs, which have been tested time and time again, and looked like they were ripe for the breakout. I thought, well, perhaps that will happen, but I didn't take a second shot. I was in doubt, and if in doubt, stay out. And to be fair, I'm in doubt into where this is going at the moment. Yes, it's having a bit of a push up at the moment. Do I trust this move? Not quite yet. Maybe if it puts in another higher low. Yes, it's put a sort of a small higher low in here, but I'm just waiting to see if we get another higher low. Okay, that's the euro. The pound. Otherwise, if it breaks that level, as I said, at the lows, on the euro, I'll be looking short side. The pound's held up better. Actually, it's since first recording, it's starting to record. I noticed we've actually got a little bit of a move up. The pound held up better yesterday. It did sell towards the sort of later part of the day there. It just sort of bounced off nicely off that 4-hourly 21 originally, but then sold on in the next candle. But the pound's been outperforming. It like the euro couldn't break its highs though. It's struggling to get beyond this sort of level previously, and it's sort of almost a ceiling sitting in there for both currencies this week. Maybe we'll get a break in the pound. The pound to me is still more bullish than the euro, the pound dollar, but we'll see. There's a bit more hawkishness with the pound, and the chances of tapering. That will see the pound strengthen further, potentially anyway. Okay, that's the pound looking like it might work its way back up there. Daily pivot's still untouched there. It's not the clearest of markets. And again with the pound, look how choppy it was yesterday. Yesterday right the way through into the news. Didn't really want to go anywhere. We could end up with a similar case today. So with some of these markets, if you can't get in them, you can't get in them. You can't trade them, and that's it. Cash is a position at the end of the day. Now, I've been talking about long position. I took this position live in a 2-3 days event actually a couple of weeks ago, and it's not doing too much. It's fine. Yesterday was a bit of a relief because I was sitting there thinking, well, this is going to roll over and stop me potentially. But this is a position which I'm holding. I'm looking for it to push back towards the 110 area. Fundamentally, there's chance of the big money fundamentally is unwinding positions within the yen. So, and I just think if the US economy is kicking up, there's sort of less money going into these risk currencies such as the Swissy and the yen. So I expect this will gradually unwind. It is a long position. Long-term position. I'm not sort of trying to swing trade it, day trade it. It will stay there as long as it takes at the moment. I have moved the stops up an edge from the original stops right the way down here, so they're sort of sitting a bit higher. But if you've been following that trade, but aside of that, I'm just letting it go, move on now. Now, if it rolls from here, rolls over, there is the potential. Well, at some point I'll probably be wrong, but for now, I'm looking at it this morning again now, and it's actually currently finding a bit more of a bounce. Steve, more of a sell-off on cable. It's got possibility, but I just see it a little bit, I don't know, a bit stronger. I'll come back to it for you briefly on the shorter time frames here. Just briefly look at it for you there. It doesn't, I mean, to be fair, when you look at the lower highs coming through here, it does look soft, and I think, well, maybe let's see if it gets up into that daily pivot there and see what reaction it does. There's sort of divergence across the lows. You sort of got all conflict on it, and that's why I'm sort of sitting on these this morning thinking I'll just wait until they show me a better hand. At the moment, it's like having a pair of twos. I I'd rather something a bit stronger to take any action on. Okay, sorry, my poker talk there. I talked about the yen, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar at this stage then, well, the Aussie took quite a hammering. It's back down to that range where the sort of levels at 77, where it was finding support last time, and well, it's finding support there at the moment. The Aussie dollar's done particularly well over recently because of the ores, the iron ore, etc., copper, all pushing up, and it's helped it push into those highs. But there's a little bit of a sell-off, and and then a big sell-off yesterday. As soon as we see the dollar strengthening, anyway, it's going to push the oil prices down generally pushes them down, and so you get like almost a double whammy sometimes. And you've seen quite a big correction here on the Aussie. Where to today? It's another one of these. It's into those lows. Is it going to bounce again? Fundamentally, there's some promising shoots there sitting there with Australia. It really depends what you can do here. As I said, that US data later on might, although I wouldn't normally follow the weekly jobs report, it may become more significant, particularly if there's any significant corrections in those. But at the moment, lower highs, lower lows. Again, this is a weak one, and it's sort of you're actually looking for, or I would be looking for a higher low to come through here and something a bit stronger. So not that interesting at the moment. Currency I am in, and I've been short in this. When did I take this one? This was last Wednesday. Shorted it on the breakdown actually on the 5th there. It's done okay. I have taken part profit off at the S1 here. It's more of a swing, but I was looking. I went back to this monthly here. One thing, I've probably been a bit over greedy here. Yesterday it did hit into those initial lows. When I was looking at targets of this, I was considering there, and then you've got the 200 sitting below in terms of targets. And then I was looking at the monthly S2, but for now it's bounced a little bit. I still see the Canadian dollar stronger. I see it stronger, or got potential strength, until the US Fed and eventually admit, yes, we've got to do something a bit more. But at the moment, they're already tapering. They're already doing the same thing. So yes, it's a momentary move up here potentially. A bit of divergence coming through those lows. Not surprised to see something pulling back up here. Maybe it'll slow down. I have moved my stop down reasonably aggressive. So it's just above that weekly pivot up there. So we'll see how it goes. But I do want to lock some extra more profit in if it does come down. Anyway, so it has, and it looks like it's putting higher lows in here. Short term, bigger picture, still holding in okay-ish. Maybe it is reversing, but I'll be a bit more patient on that one. Okay, Euro Yen. I often get asked about the Euro Yen, so a quick look at the Euro Yen. Again, pushing up pretty strongly now. The yen's selling a little bit more. The euro's just pushing through here. Where to on this euro yen? Well, I'm a believer. If you look at most of the yen pairings, you'll see some decent moves up there. So it's more like you can see this morning. If I put the pound yen on, or the Aussie yen, even with the Aussie selling off there. Well, actually, as they've gone and said that, and it's probably one of the few that's not actually doing something a little bit more on the more positive side. We're seeing the other pairs all longer term here in decent upward trends. That Aussie just slowed up a little bit, and the Aussie itself, as I say, is quite weak. Look at the Canadian yen, a beautiful move up here, and if you're looking for pairs, I would like to see a nice retrace here. This is a great place trade on oil normally as well, because the Canadian output includes oil. There's no oil in Japan, and it often used to be a currency trade that sort of reflected oil prices. We'll see. I need a retrace on this one, but you see all these yen pairs, they are pushing up as we're seeing that the unwinding of the yen positions basically. Okay, gone on, sorry, a little bit further on that than I expected, but there we go. Briefly then, moving across to the S&Ps. Well, we've seen Is this the time? Maybe he says we're seeing 3 solid days there. Yesterday it being even more solid, sort of gradually getting bigger on the sell-off. Do you know, I've been very much against trying to trade the short side. Maybe if we see some more data coming out today, we'll just see a continuation to this correction. It's well overdue, a proper correction. When you look at it, it's way back in sort of it was in March last year when the COVID was sort of February March time, when COVID was really its first the big awareness of it. I mean, it's recovered significantly since then, of course, but we're just at the scratchings here, and I do wonder whether we'll see something more of a correction at some point. Now that point could be, and as I said a short while ago, that we're seeing the Treasury notes, the value of the Treasury notes or yields. Sorry, I should say yields going up, which suggests that the bonds are being sold. Bonds being sold generally sees money running into dollar, and that's what we're likely to see here. The more that's happening, the less it's just that interest rate increase sort of situation which kills the stock market. As it kills it, slows it down, and we could, as I say, see that roll through. Technically, lower highs into this market. A couple of days ago I was looking for the sort of bounce. No signs of bounces at the moment, so still pushing off there to the downside. Okay, gold, sorry, just saying goodbye to my daughter, she's off to school. Gold, looking at gold, he says, trying to push on to gold. Come on, gold. There we go. So gold selling off here yesterday. Again, no surprise if commodity prices fall as the dollar strengthens. Generally, getting a bit of a bounce off the weekly pivot here. It's really, if this starts breaking down, well, gold could see again, like many of the currencies, a bigger correction. Would I be buying here? Not personally. I think it's just a little bit on the risky side. It's just bounced actually into its hourly 21 there. A break of these lows here would give a lower high in the short term, and again, it's all those sort of signs of weakness. Okay, pretty much it there. I'll quick look at, well, I mentioned oil. I was talking about oil earlier on. Oil's done pretty well on the bigger time frames. It shoved up. Today we're seeing it selling off here again. Dollars, I mean, saying that the dollar didn't make any difference to it yesterday. It pushed up, made that new high, but it is selling off now, and to me that's just sort of dollar weakness. There are reasons for it to have pushed up yesterday, but the bigger term, my bigger picture on this is we will at some point see a correction. I'm just waiting patiently. But anyway, for now, oil doing okay. Watch out. I mean, it's still got the potential at any stage to push once again, whilst there's such the cartel are weaving their magic. Right, okay, finally a quick look at Bitcoin. Sorry, a little bit longer than it's normal here this morning, but Bitcoin daily wise, well, it did again. Well, I say again, it ran through today. It's actually sold off more than yesterday. But I was just seeing this consolidation, and I've been previously mentioned. I just think it would consolidate around there. Okay, that's a bit more of a game changer yesterday, and it's interesting that everyone hates to think that it's got anything to do with normal currencies. But of course, this is the dollar Bitcoin, or Bitcoin dollar Bitcoin. It's just yeah. Dollar strength coming through there, and we're seeing a sort of a knock-on effect this morning. Traders in this world are generally younger. Probably I'm being really unfair to some of those youngsters, but they're more likely to be a bit more fickle sometimes when they start seeing it selling off. We'll see. Some of the older ones may be trying to hold in a little bit more and just think, well, actually, it's not doing too bad. But if it has actually broken that, so it's actually given us a formal lower high on this dailies. So it is a bit of a softer picture there. We'll see. Anyway, that's it for me. A bit longer than I expected in the end. I wish you a great day, and I'll be back in the morning. Bye for now.